Hello everyone. Today, the topic of our discussion is human capital formation in India. This chapter is a part of unit Current Challenges Facing Indian Economy from our book Indian Economic Development. So, in this chapter, the discussion would be divided into two parts. In part 1, we are going to discuss about the concept of human capital and human capital formation, difference between physical capital and financial capital, difference between human capital and physical capital, determinants or sources of human capital formation, role of human capital formation, problems facing human capital formation in India. And in part 2 of this chapter, we are going to deal with education as an essential element of human resource development. So, firstly, let us now understand that what do we understand by the term human capital and human capital formation. Human capital actually is the sum total of skill and expertise of engineers, doctors, professors, and workers of all types who are engaged in the process of production. Human capital formation is the process of adding to the stock of human capital over time. So, in this way, we can conclude that capital formation is the process by which we accumulate human capital, and human capital comprises of the various skills of any persons who are engaged in any production activity. Now let us understand that what is the difference between physical capital and financial capital. In economics, physical capital or just capital refers to a factor of production or inputs into the process of production such as machinery, buildings or computers. On the other hand, financial capital refers to the stocks, shares of the companies, or these are simply financial claims against assets of the companies. Financial capital consists of titles of ownership of physical capital. Now here are some differences regarding the difference between physical capital and human capital. First point is regarding the point of difference, physical construction. Physical capital, it has physical construction. It can be seen, touched, and easily sold. But human capital, on the other hand, is intangible and it is not sold. Only its services are sold. Physical capital is separable from its owners, and human capital cannot be separated from its owners. Physical capital can be built by imports also. It is built, but human capital is built by conscious policy, formulation of state, and its expenditure. Now, while considering the benefits, physical capital creates private benefit, whereas human capital, it creates both private and social benefits. Regarding the characteristics of mobility, physical capital is completely mobile, subject to artificial trade restriction placed at some places. On the other hand, human capital is not perfectly mobile. It is restricted by nationality and culture. Mobile means it can be transferred from one place to another. Next are the sources of human capital formation. First one is expenditure on education. Expenditure on education is a very important source of human capital formation. What happens sometimes, most of the families decide to incur huge expenditure on education even when they have to take loans also. And the only reason is that returns on such type of expenditures are very large. And also, education enables an individual to make a good living throughout his life. Next point is expenditure on health. A saying is there that a sound mind in a sound body. So, when expenditure is done on health, it means that the person is healthy, efficient, and he can do any type of production activity very efficiently. So, his contribution to the process tends to increase. He adds more and more to GDP of the nation than a sick person who is not a healthy. Next point is on the job training. If training is being imparted to people while they are in their job, the training may be related to various specialized skills, and when such type of training is provided to people, it increases their skills efficiency of doing the work. So expenditure on such training programs, it is another determinant and source of human capital formation. Next is study programs for adults. Other than uh, formal education means that education which is being imparted at primary, secondary, and university levels. The government and NGOs organize study programs for adults also to make proficient in their work areas. And when such type of activity is done, if the adults are also provided chance for enhancing their capabilities, for enhancing their caliber, as a result, it all these provisions enhance the productivity in our country. Next is migration. Migration contributes to human capital formation because it facilitates utilization of inactive skills of the people. Next is expenditure on information. Information related to job markets means that what type of job are being provided from the side of the government, and educational, some educational institutions who offer specialized skills. So if such type of information reaches to the people, they are able to grasp those opportunities which are being provided. It enables people to actualize their productive potential which is in them. Now comes to understand about the role of human capital formation. First point is that change, it leads to change in emotional and material environment of growth. Human capital formation actually generates a change in emotional and material environment of growth. An emotional environment becomes more conducive to growth as people tend to acquire growth oriented attitude and aspirations. And regarding the material environment, it becomes helpful to growth as the society now have large number of skilled and trained workers, and it is very helpful, it becomes very helpful to implement the plans and programs of economic growth with such large number of skilled and trained workers. Next is higher productivity of physical capital. Actually, what happens if there would be proper amount of human capital formation in our country, then obviously it is going to produce more and more physical capital in our country. Next is innovative skills. Human capital formation facilitates innovations, and innovations, the larger the number of skilled and trained personnel, then what happens, greater would be the possibility of innovations in the field of production. Next is higher rate of participation and equality. By enhancing productive capacities of the labor force, human capital formation induces greater chances of employment, and as a result, this increases the rate of participation. Higher would be the rate of participation, greater would be the degree of economic and social equality in the society. Next is problems that is being faced by human capital formation in India. The first problem that is being faced regarding the human capital formation in India is rising population. Now, what is happening? This rising population is adversely fix the quality of human capital, because when there would be more and more population, then the quality of human capital would not be adequate, because it reduces per head availability of facilities relating to housing, sanitation, drainage, water system, hospitals, education, etc. Next, the problem is of brain drain. Brain drain is the result of migration of persons of high caliber, such as scientists, administrators, executive engineers, educationists, etc. This results into slow down the process of human capital formation in a domestic country. Next point is deficient manpower planning. Deficient manpower planning means that proper planning is being not being done regarding how we can utilize our manpower in our country, and then how this is obstructing the human capital formation, or this is a problem. Actually, what happens when there would be not proper manpower planning, then it would cause an imbalance of demand and supply of labor force in our country. As a result, this is giving rise to the problem of graduate unemployment. It means that people are getting the graduate degree, but still they are not properly employed, which is nothing but reflection of wastage of human power and skill. Next is insufficient on the job training. It is in the primary sector. Primary sector means that agricultural sector, and we all know that agriculture is the backbone of our economy. Still, what is happening? It is lacking the on job training. Therefore, there is lack of human capital formation in this sector. Next is low academic standard. Low academic standard means that what is happening, government is opening, or private institutions, private persons also increasing more and more universities. So many universities have been opened in order to spread higher education, but what is happening? They are lacking the academic standard. It means that their academic standard are not being matched with the international academic standards. The output of such universities are skill deficient graduates. It means that those who are getting the degrees from such type of universities are lacking some or the other type of skills and postgraduate. This lowers our competitiveness of human capital market. And the next part, in our next part, that is in part 2, we are going to deal with education as an essential element of human resource development. Thank you.